Welcome back to Living Without an Expiration Date, a podcast about purpose, reinvention, and making the years ahead of you more meaningful than the years behind you. Today, we're going to talk about discovering your why, the compass for your career trajectory. This is about something that sits at the center of every fulfilling career and every meaningful life, your why. Because as you evaluate your career trajectory, whether you're 25, 45, or 65, discovering your why is essential. Not your job title, not your paycheck, not even your accomplishments, your why. Because when your why becomes clear, your direction becomes clear. But when your why is missing, even success can feel strangely empty. Let me start with a story. Years ago, early in my career, I was offered what most people would consider a dream opportunity, a promotion, more responsibility, more influence, more compensation. On paper, it looked like a no-brainer. People congratulated me before I even accepted it, and yet something felt off. You know that quiet voice inside your head that asks questions you'd rather ignore. Mine kept whispering, is this really what you want? But like a lot of professionals, I pushed that voice aside. I told myself the same thing many of us say. This is what success looks like. So I accepted the role. And for a while, everything looked great from the outside. But inside, something was missing. The work was demanding, but not meaningful. The pace was fast, but the direction felt hollow. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to understand what was happening. I had accepted the job based upon what it was, but I never asked myself why I was doing it. And when you don't understand your why, you can climb a ladder only to discover it's leaning against the wrong wall. That experience forced me to ask a deeper question, not what should I do next, but why do I do what I do? In that question, everything changed. Most people define their careers by what they do. I'm a banker. I'm an executive. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. But those are roles, not purpose. Your why sits beneath the role. It's the deeper reason that motivates your work. For some people, their why is building things. For others, it's helping people grow. For some, it's solving complex problems. For others, it's creating opportunity for people who have been overlooked. Your title might change 5 times during your career, but your why usually stays remarkably consistent. Once you discover it, you begin to notice something interesting. You see it showing up in everything you've ever done, your best moments, your proudest achievements, your most meaningful work. And, and your why was probably there all along. You just hadn't named it. Here's the problem. Most people don't lose their why because they stop caring. They lose it because life gets busy. Careers accelerate, bills arrive, families grow, responsibilities pile up, and suddenly we stop asking the deeper questions. Instead of asking, what matters to me, we start asking, what's the next promotion? What's the next salary increase? What's the next opportunity? None of those are bad questions, but they're incomplete. Because if the destination doesn't align with your purpose, progress can begin to feel like drift. You may be moving forward, but you're not moving forward towards something meaningful. And eventually, that creates burnout. Not because you're working too hard, but because you're working without purpose. So, how do you discover your why? It's not usually found in a personality test, it's found in reflection. You look back at your life and you ask yourself, when I went when have I felt most alive in my work? Not most successful, most alive. Was it when you helped someone grow? When you solved a complex problem? When you built something from nothing? When you guided someone through a difficult moment? Your why is often hidden inside these experiences. Another way to discover it is to ask, what problem do I feel compelled to solve? Some people feel called to reduce financial inequality. Others feel called to mentor younger leaders. Others want to build systems that help people thrive. Your why is often the intersection between your gifts, your experiences, and the problems that move your heart. Once you discover it, your career decisions begin to change. You stop asking, what job should I take? And start asking, what opportunities allow me to live my why? When people align their careers with their why, something remarkable happens. Work becomes more than work. It becomes contribution. It becomes legacy. And ironically, when people operate from their why, they often become more successful because purpose fuels persistence, creativity, and resilience. People who know their why don't quit easily. They adapt, they pivot, they keep going. Because their motivation runs deeper than titles or recognition, they are driven by meaning. And meaning is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. Let me leave you with 3 questions to reflect on this week. Not quick questions, career shaping questions. Question number 1. Looking back across your career, when have you felt the greatest sense of purpose in your work? What were you doing? Who were you helping? And what problems were you solving? Your why is probably hidden somewhere in that answer. Question number 2. Are the decisions you're making today moving you closer to your purpose or simply moving you forward? Forward progress isn't the same as meaningful purpose. Sometimes the bravest move isn't climbing higher, it's changing direction. And question number 3. If you fully embraced your why, what might you start doing differently tomorrow? Would you mentor someone? Would you launch an idea? Would you speak up more? Would you change directions? Your why isn't meant to stay hidden. It's meant to guide the rest of your journey. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might be questioning their direction right now. Because sometimes one conversation can help someone rediscover their purpose. Until next time, remember this: your career is not just about making a living, it's about making a difference. The moment you discover your why, your path becomes a lot clearer. This is Rich Jones reminding you to keep living and leading without an expiration date. Thank you.